Let's do it.
I need some arms in the air. I need some noise.
All right, it is time to bring it on. That's right, it is time to bring it on down. Well, that's the Hockey Hat Shack. I am here in the Miramichi, in the beautiful Rod Miramichi River. I forgot the name of the hotel. My wife's going to kill me for that one. Anyway, this is the post-game report from our game in Acadie Bathurst against the T10. And let's start it off. The lowlights of the game, well, we didn't win. As a matter of fact, we lost 4-0. Kind of flip-flopped from winning 4-0 back at home. The first period was kind of even Steven, both teams skating really well. Not a lot of action, but a good pace. And then the second period was the Islanders were starting to kind of lag a little bit, and the T10 seemed to slowly be taking over. And then by the third period, it was kind of downhill. There were a few goals in both periods, but really it was one of those games where the team couldn't play the 60 minutes, couldn't keep it together. But there were individual efforts, and that takes me to the highlights. And some of the highlights were again individual play. We had lots of great hitting by Ryan Graves. Cortez was a defensive specialist, was doing unbelievable. And we also saw Broussard playing very well in his first game as the #1 goaltender for the team. There was a lot of standout performances for sure, but I'll tell you right now, the freaking soldier of the game was definitely Mr. Ryan Graves, who was hitting hard, skating hard, very nice to see. It was really hard to pick this freaking soldier because there were other standouts too. Real Legault was playing really well. Yetman, it's been really nice to see Yetman skating and is on the ice in the lineup and skating really hard. Great. I love seeing these players come back into the lineup and they're just fired up and ready to go. And he goes along with that style that seems to be molding together for the Charlottetown Islanders of this smaller, younger, faster, forward type of style that's going on right now. Can't think of the word. Anyway, I was trying to get flowery there. It didn't work out very well. Crash and burn. All right. So that is the freaking soldiers, definitely Ryan Graves. And good job, Mr. Graves. Anyway, there was a few different things that happened. One of the, I would have to say more highlights were actually this going to the arena. The Casey Irving Center, I believe it's called. I could be wrong on that one. I apologize to all the T10 fans out there if I'm wrong. A really nice arena. Actually, it was very reminiscent to the old Windsor Arena, aka the Barn in Windsor, Ontario, where the Spitfires play. A newer version of it, and very nice. The atmosphere was really great. There weren't a lot of people because the T10 their crowds have been lower, but the fans were very friendly, and some of the stories I got to tell you are really good. The first one I could tell you is the one that really sticks out, is that there was a family 2 rows ahead of us, and there was they were very friendly, and it was funny because whenever I go to a new arena, I get looks, of course. I get these looks like, what's going on? Who is this guy? Why is he yelling? Why is he this? I mean, I wasn't up and dancing and stuff like that, but I was and doing what I do. And for the fans out there that don't know, there's got to be not too many of you, but if you're a new person looking at the stuff on the site, go back, look at some of the stuff on our YouTube channel and the Hockey Hat Guy on YouTube. Check it out. Just even the intro to this show really gives you a good perspective of how this show really is. So anyway, let's the story anyway with this kid. There was a family, very nice, and they were interacting very well. I don't speak French, but of course, I try my best. Anyway, the puck was shot into the Islanders' net. Of course, we were our Islanders bench, and we were right behind the bench pretty much. So I kind of yelled down, "Hey, Spider," kind of thing, and he threw the puck up to me. Well, anyway, this kid, it was funny. He all of a sudden, I think, got in his head that if he starts cheering for the Islanders, he'll get a puck. So he started cheering for the Islanders, right? So I just was like, this kid was just, it was really funny. It was really funny. He was taking the psychological approach to it or something like that, or literal psychological approach. But his name was Lewis. And yeah, Lewis, it was really funny. He just kept doing it. And I got to the point where it was like, I got to give him this puck. So I did. I did give him the puck, and here he is with the puck, and it was really great. And I told him, I said, he got the puck in the second period, I think it was. And yes, it was. And I told him, I said, okay, man, you got to keep cheering for the Islanders all the way to the end of the game. And he did. And it was really great. Again, more fans I was meeting around the queue that were really great. Another story from the game was that the next section to us, there were these two kids. There was a boy and a girl, I would say probably around 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. They were wearing their T10 jerseys. So, of course, every goal, they were one of the first kids that were looking at me like, who's this guy? Who's this guy in the hat? And when they would, and of course, there was a 4-0 win, they would score the goal. And these kids would be looking at me, and they'd be holding up their jerseys and pointing at their crest, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, all right, lucky goal. And it was really funny with the interaction of it because, they kept playing it up. So by the end of the game, they got up, and of course they were pointing at their T10 logos and everything. And I got to the point where I got up on my feet, and then I started bowing, like, we're not worthy kind of thing, and it just made their day. Another great story interacting with the fans. There was these kids that were it was a hockey night kind of thing for the younger hockey fans. A lot of teams were there, and there were these kids that were just sitting around or standing around. I'm sorry, and during the second intermission. And I walked up to them. I said, are you all hockey players? And only one of them spoke English. It was the boy that was there. We only spoke English. The girls didn't speak any English at all. So anyway, so of course I was talking to them for a little while, or the guy, and then I was, I put the fist up, hey, give me a fist bump kind of thing, and the one girl kind of didn't know whether she wanted to give me the fist bump kind of thing, but then it looked like to be her sister. Was laughing, and I walked away, and I went down. I mean, I wasn't at the other end of the arena, but I was far away from their section. And before the third period started, the who I believe is the sister came all the way down, right down to the third row there, walked at least a third of the arena, just to give me a fist bump. Like, she just thought it was so cool that I was chatting and having a good time and interacting with the fans that are supposed to be the enemy, and it was a really great thing. I talked to another guy as well, and he was from Ottawa, I believe, and he was talking to me about, being a fan of North Bay in the OHL, and of course me being a Spitfire fan in the OHL, and he obviously had seen some of, like, he saw what I was doing in the arena, but also knew my stuff from online. And he was going on and on and on about how good it was and stuff. And I just was like, I appreciate when people come up and say stuff like that. It's really nice of them. They don't have to do that. And but when they do it, it's kind of like it gives me a little, more inspiration. I put the pride on the shelf. Like, I don't just let it go to my head or my hat. But I really do. I just kind of go, thanks. And it's just, to me, it becomes fuel on the fire to keep going and to keep up in my game as much as I can and doing more things like this, which I'm enjoying doing. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the trip. A 4-0 loss. It's too bad. Great win in Charlottetown the night before, but this was we've seen this kind of game before, and unfortunately, it was here tonight. Anyway, that will wrap it up. But before we get to the credits, I had a great interview with Mr. Brian Willett. That's right, and you can find him he's got a lot of different ones, and he does mention it where you can find him and all the great work that he does in this upcoming interview. That's right, I did a great interview with Mr. Brian Willett, who does a lot of stuff Titan related, and I want you to take a listen to this great audio interview that we had. And hey, the New Year's coming. Good times ahead. Everybody, all the fans, get down to that arena and, hey, get your cheer on. Get it going, and let's have fun. Cheer the guys on, and hopefully, to more and more victories. All right. Well, until next time, keep your stick on the ice and don't get stuck. Boom. All right, the post-game report is on, and I am in Bathurst to watch the Titan game with my buddy Brian Willett. He runs so much stuff, I'll let him pimp his wares after the interview. But Brian, welcome to the post-game report.
Thank you for having me. Welcome to Bathurst.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, how long have you been doing this, Brian?
The site itself for TitanNation.ca I just started this year, but live tweeting, I've actually been doing it this is my third season doing it. Before I did it on my personal Twitter account at the Brian Willett, but now this year I decided to switch things up and go with the AB Titan Live.
Also, I'm just wondering, why did you start your site? Because there is an actual site, and of course you want to say this as politically correct as possible, I imagine. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, the reason why I started TitanNation.ca is because around here we have just a weekly newspaper for the English language, and really there's only a few pages that's dedicated to it, and we maybe get 1 or 2 articles a week. But in social media, in the internet world, the digital world, everything is going on 24/7. You never know what can happen. Like, for example, last night we had a couple of trades that went through, and it's you never know what can happen. And people want to know that information. People are knowledge seekers, and I want to help provide that knowledge to them, especially when it comes to the Titan.
Wow, you couldn't have said that any better. It's kind of funny because I kind of feel similar to that, but in the way of I bridge the gap with the fans at the arena doing my crazy things, and but we need more fans that get interactive and stuff, because there's a lot of fans that are just either they're older or they just don't understand the internet, and I think it's one of those things that we need to see in every city, really.
I totally agree, and that's why I love the fact that we have people like the guys that run Station Nation. We recently had a Wildcats blog that started up, catsnation.ca. Give a shout out to them. We also have the qnews.net that covers various places in the Q. Almost all 18 teams are covered. And we also have like little smaller things going around. Like in Quebec you have Sport des Nord, Univers Hockey, different places like that try and cover sports on the teams on a local level.
And that's what it's all about. And this is the thing that I understand, because I'm from Windsor, Ontario, is that these teams need help because they don't have the money. They can't. It's not an NHL franchise, and it kind of brings the fans together when they get more interactive. At least I feel that way. What about you?
I totally agree. If it wasn't for the online community, we probably still wouldn't have a team here. Like, there have been so many times where there have been rumors, possible confirmations of Bathurst moving. I'll be honest, I'm so glad that they're still here, because it's really, especially in this region where we recently had the mine closure, which has been around for decades. It's actually what brought my family here from Rio-Noranda, Quebec. That's where my family's from. And in 72, the mine had expanded operations and they needed some people to come in, and that's where my family made the move. And with the mine closure, we lost it almost, I'd say, over the past couple of years, more than 2,000 people lost their jobs. And we are in tough economical times up here in northern New Brunswick, and it's going to take a long time to recover, to find something to replace what the mine gave us. And the fact that we have a bunch of local and regional investors that wanted to keep the team here, I applaud them, and I applaud the route that they're taking. What people don't realize is that they've gone, if you see all these advertising boards here, almost 2/3 of them weren't full last year. Really. We barely had any advertising space. We have 19 corporate boxes, 15 of them are sold for the year. We barely had 4 or 5 last year.
That's on that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What the team needed to do was build the financial stability and infrastructure before they could attack other areas. We're also in the midst of a rebuilding mode, which has gone on for a while, but this is a true rebuilding mode where the general manager, Sylvain Couturier, finally has the gloves off. He doesn't have someone above him trying to counteract the moves that he wanted to make that eventually led to his disappearing from the scene for a couple of years. And the trades that he has made, they're setting us up in a position where we'll be able to make a good run within the next couple of years. And the fan base, that's the next target. When these investors signed on, they had to know that this was not going to be an overnight change or an overnight solution. This is something that will take 2 to 3 years minimum. And we've already seen some of the positive changes. Like I said, advertising, the average attendance, it may still show the same, but we actually had our first sellout in over 6 years to start the season, which was amazing to see. I hadn't seen the arena that filled up in so long, and it
Feels good, doesn't it?
I weep tears of joy.
And it's funny because we're actually like that in Charlottetown right now. We got the local ownership, and people just have to realize that it's going to take time. Our general manager, Grant Saunier, same way. He is looking to the future. He realizes it might be tough for the rest of the season, but the trades that have been made, you can tell. And speaking of trades, before we end off here, recently, as of, a few hours ago or 12 hours ago or whatever it was, actually, yeah, that we picked up a goaltender, Mr. McDonald there, and I just want you to give me a quick idea of what he's like and what we're to expect in Charlottetown.
Mason McDonald is a really top quality goaltender that for some reason we never truly gave the chance to break out. I'm glad that he's going to get a chance in Charlottetown where he'll likely be provided that opportunity in tandem with Brassard. And the picks that we got back for him, I liked them. We got the first that was originally Rimouski's, we got your fourth, and Bécomo's fourth, which really helps us set up for potential picks in the future. And it also gives us, we have a couple of goaltenders that down below in the lower leagues that are ready to make the jump to the queue. But Mason McDonald, I can't say enough good things about him. I feel, although we failed him, I feel that we failed him. We didn't provide him the tools and the time to break out and show why he is on the central scouting list and is possibly going to go in the first couple of rounds of the NHL draft. But he's good with puck control, rebound control. He's got great vision. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's 6'5", so that makes him one hell of a presence in front of the net. But yeah, you guys have a diamond in the rough, ready to be polished in McDonald.
And that's okay. You made my day because we lost Antoine Bibeau, very popular goaltender, and Mr. Broussard, number one goaltender for now. It all depends on how correct you are. I like your assessment. I hope you're right 100%. And Brian, is there anything you want? You want to pimp your wares there?
Sure, you can find me on Twitter. Personal Twitter is the Brian Willett. The one that I do live tweets and post all my articles on is AB Titan Live. And you can find the website at titannation.ca, and you can find me behind the net every home game, taunting the goalies and giving live tweets. And as well, I also do some writing for theqnews.net, so give them a check out on the website.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. That was Post-Game Reports, and hope to talk to you again.
Thank you very much for having me. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.